Hi, my name is Mustafa Samin and I completed my higher secondary school certificate from Chinadakar College in 2020. My SAT score was upper mid 1400s. For those of you who do not know what ACT is, it's Scholars Assessment Test, which basically is a test for US universities and colleges for undergraduate incoming students who want to apply there. It's an indicator of how well you will do in college, and it is organized by college board. Coming to resources, for maths I would say the best book that you'll ever get is College Panda. For reading and writing, the best sold book out there is of Erika Meltzer. I know you heard the name. She's really famous and her books are a masterpiece. So buy them all in all right now if you are really serious about SATs. And also a free resource that everyone has is Khan Academy, which is really useful. There are 10 practice tests there, which is kind of like compulsory for any candidate who wants to who wants to get a better SAT scores and get into top shot Ivy League universities in US. Next up is writing, which has 44 questions and it's typically under 35 minutes. So there will be 4 passages and you will have an average of 9 minutes. This is not as stressful as reading, and I'd say it is the easiest part of SAT to some people, to most of the people actually, but not to be undermined obviously. Basically, it has some underlined parts of the passage. It can be a word, it can be a phrase, it can be 2 to 3 lines, and it will be grammatically incorrect or rhetorically asymmetric or not the standard English conventions that are used in typical conversations. So what you're gonna do is you have to correct it in the correct form of order. For example, it could be a spelling mistake, it could be a grammatical error of comma usage, it could be a deceiving information and extra information in between the passages which contributes no more to the whole idea of the passage, and as a result it has to be removed from the passage. It could be a lot of things which after you start giving practice tests it will get all in your head. So no need to worry about this, but keeping it in constant check would do great. Lastly comes the math part, which is typically really easy for Asian brats and for Bangladeshis as a whole. As I said, without calculator, which has 20 questions for 25 minutes. In this section there are algebraic equations, there are inequalities, graphs even, basically anything with various real life scenarios so that you can better understand the concept but also work the math as well. The other part of math is with calculator, which will have 38 questions in under 55 minutes. Typically for me, I think is we have lesser time for the without calculator section and more time for with calculator section, but then again it's on one's personal perspective. Now, before I dive into the structure of an SAT exam, you must be wondering why you should give SAT in the first place and what are the benefits. First of all, before COVID-19 happened, every college and university in USA, I mean most of them, required SAT as a requirement in their application process, and it was termed as standardized test, and you had to send this test score so that they could understand how much of a ready student you are to attend that university and if you are worthy of that college education, because it's very expensive and only the top students go there in USA. Imagine you are not from the most accepted education system, A levels, or you are not from the Cambridge education system, you are not from edexcel, what are you gonna do? If you are from HSC like me, or any different education board from any different remote country which the US colleges and universities don't know about, and as a result cannot equate how rigorous that education board is in comparison to the pre-existing and accepted education boards of the world. At that point, what they do is they ask for standardized tests from people so that they can get the comparison from the test scores that you get, that education board, for example NCTB as mine, I got a 1550 for example in SAT, then they can understand, yes, this student got an A plus in HSC and also 1550 in SAT. So that means that an A plus in HSC is equivalent to doing good in A levels as well. So basically they equate your academic knowledge by SAT or standardized tests. What my tip for this exam would be that they try to distract you with various kinds of scenarios with a long passage of half a page, but then they ask a question where you will realize that you do not need the whole of the passage for answering the question or for calculating whatever you want to get. You just needed one or two information from the passage, but then after reading the whole passage you realize that you wasted a lot of time behind things that were not useful in your calculation. So my greatest and usual tip would be that do not look for information, do not look for everything, do not read everything in the passage, but look for information that will help you in the calculation exclusively. And after you get the information, if you still cannot get what the answer would be, or the calculation has a misinformation or has a missing information, then you can go onto the passage and read the whole passage, and then you can learn, okay, I missed this part which was in written format rather than numbers and digits, and then you can get the idea and solve the math. Paid resource would be 1600.io, which is really amazing. There's this guy who gives the perfect analysis and the perfect explanation to all the answers to all the SAT tests that have been taken until now. 3 big important advices for any SAT takers would be that number 1, always revise any mistake that you made in any practice test. And when I say that again, it's serious. Revise from up to 5 times one question if you got that wrong, because after you revise any question and the answer that you thought would be, but then it did not happen, and there was the other answer that you did not pay heed to, but then again after you saw the explanation and all, and then you got thinking, oh, maybe that was the perfect answer after all, and then you get to realize, okay, so this is how we have to think to get to that answer. So from that comes my second advice, which is give lots of practice tests no matter where you get them from, but give them. There are practice tests in 1600.io, there are practice tests in College Board's official book for SAT, there are 10 practice tests, as I said, in Khan Academy and also in other books as well. So give a lot of practice tests to better become efficient with your strategies, with your ideas about the SAT exam. And number 3 would be understand the mind of SAT takers. You'll see that typically every SAT has the same deceiving strategies, the same misinformation in the maths passages, the same incorrect grammar usage in writing, the same use of evidence in reading. So if you can give practice tests and get into the mind of the SAT takers about, okay, they think it like that, so maybe whenever I'm approaching this kind of question, I'm gonna think it like that. I'm gonna use this strategy to do X, Y type of question, and then after you do that, you are in the game for the real SAT exam, and that's how you do good. I would say SAT is one of the most important aspects of a college application process, because I understand that coming from an NCTB education board from Bangladesh, I know that my A plus does not mean anything to the colleges, because almost any student in Bangladesh, a topper, an average topper, will get an A plus easily. But if I have the standardized test scores such as SAT or ACT, yes, there are different variants of standardized tests. So if I have one of these scores and I send them to the college, then they can get a better understanding of how academic a person I am and how well I'm gonna do in college. Now coming to the structures of SAT, SAT has three different parts, but technically four. One would be reading, two writing, three maths, and that is divided into two subsections. One is without calculator and the another one is with calculator. So coming to the reading section, it has 52 questions which is to be given in 65 minutes, and honestly I think everyone would agree, whoever gave SAT, that this is the most stressful and hard part of SAT. It has 5 passages from a variant of sectors, for example history or science or US culture. It can be basically of anything, but they have a pre-existing set of sectors from which the questions basically come. Judging from the time and calculating all of that, one passage you can give only 13 minutes, which is really stressful, and because I went through all of that, I know that. Technically, all of the SAT reading passages judge 3 different parts of your knowledge. 1. Use of evidence, 2. Analysis of argument, and 3. Analysis of quantitative information, or in other words, infographics or graph as a whole. Reading is the most hard but also important part, because for Bangladeshis in particular, we are really typically good in maths, so we get from an average of 700 to 750 to even 790 800 in SAT math tests. But a lot of people in Bangladesh get below 600 or below 650 in reading and writing, and that's perfectly acceptable because we are not accustomed with the reading passages that we get in college level coursework, and it's kind of hard for us to read a whole passage of 80 to 100 lines and then analyze the questions and searching for evidences in the passage for the answers that you gave in one question, and then also searching for the context and where this passage comes from, what it means to the targeted audience. All of this is really hard within 13 minutes for one passage. So I would say that anyone who is trying to go for giving SAT in Bangladesh, you have to do the best and give the most amount of resources and your time to reading, because that's the hardest part. Until now I talked about SAT 1. There is another part to SAT, which is basically an essay with the SAT, the 3 parts that I told right now. Typically people do not give essays because essays are kind of optional to most of the colleges and universities, and it's kind of like a bummer. I also did not give an essay with the SAT, but a lot of people give them for better understanding of their writing prowess, or how well they can analyze an article or a writing of anyone, and then they can correctly denote the usage of metaphors and rhetorics and satires, a lot of stuff that I think is not worth, the worthy of the time, the resources, the precious moments that you have for SAT prep. Besides SAT 1, there is another kind of SAT, which is the SAT subject test, which is of various subjects like physics, maths, chemistry, Spanish, even US history. But from a recent notice by College Board, after June of 2021, SAT subject tests and SAT essays are gonna be removed from the usual exam circle because they are deemed not, worth the time. So I would say that focus more on the main SAT exam rather than the side subjects and the side exams.